I don't care about generalized statement. What I'm telling you is that given an option between Indians and my own babies, there's no reason for me to go to Indians, given that they haven't shown anything interesting that they were doing that I would want to integrate in my genetic line, given that I can have the power over my immigration laws to protect my population from them. Why is it your status quo desire? It's like something that I have to prove everything against, your desire to replace white populations. Why do you start with this as an assumption that I need to prove wrong, that I need to meet burden of proofs that are impossible to reach? I'm telling you, first, I exist. Second, I'm in the white race. I exist into this ethnicity and I want it to survive. Why is it that I have to take any population in this world and see that, oh, they've done well in some island in Europe, so let's take many of them so they can replace my babies? Why do I have to meet that burden of proof? Other than you, instead of you telling me, JF, I respect your desire to exist and to protect your own existence and your own ethnicity. So you have your favored hypothesis to start with, and it's the hypothesis that you will stick to in the absence of any evidence. That is absolutely ridiculous. First, I proved to you that there was a link between ethnicity and voting pattern. You can just look in a newspaper, see the percentage of black people who vote Democrat, and there your link is there. I don't need to prove that it comes from their DNA. They will still vote Democrat. For the next year, in 4 years, in 10 years, their babies will vote Democrat. Listen to me. I want to solve this once and for all because you come back to it so often. There is a link between American blacks and their voting pattern. If I take them in a group, they vote differently. Do you deny these facts? You're making is that my political desire of separating myself and my family from a group that you admitted as higher crime rate, as lower IQ, as less education, is less performant, and as political preferences that will eventually limit the liberties of my children? That's my political view. I want to separate myself from these people.
What's the difference between your children competing with other white babies compared to your children competing with Indian babies?
The difference is that the nature of the competition is different. If it competes with white babies, they're going to do bands, they're going to take beer with each other, and they're going to try selecting each other based on sex. If they compete against black babies, they're potentially going to get raped. If I deal with white people in my reproductive activities, I deal with genes that are closer to me, that are more likely to lead to similar phenotypes than me. And I want to live with these people. I want to build communities with them. I think they have a great future for them.
Yeah, but
I want to bet on the white race. I'm afraid that the greatness of white people cannot be preserved in a Muslim majority or in a black majority or in an Indian majority for that matter. The people who adhere to the Muslim religion, I'm not interested in them, whatever skin color they have.
What do you think that the danger will be your children will face if they will live with Indians from the UK?
They will face the Indian birth rate.
Yes, and why is that problematic according to you?
The birth rate will end up leading to more and more Indian representing more and more of the population until my babies die.
And do you think that Indians have different interests than your children?
Absolutely.
What will happen if they reach a majority? You don't know.
And I don't condemn my children to something that I don't know. I prefer condemning my children to something that I know. The fact that white people, when they get together in countries, it looks pretty good. Do it based on the fact that they're Indian. I don't want to live with Indians. Are you telling me that you are entitled to force me to live with Indians? Oh, I'm against immigration from Botswana because the average IQ is 60 and you have more chance of importing a rapist than if you take someone in Poland. You're trying to create a dichotomy between ethnicity and voting culture. All of this is mixed together. I don't care about using which words. You can say, okay, I don't want to live with the blacks because of their voting pattern and because of their high criminality rates. I don't want to live with the Muslims because of their ideology of domination and the wrongness of their religion. I mean, you can say that. in general terms, what I say is ethnicity matters because all of these things are included in what we generally call the correlates to ethnicity. And so, yes, ethno-nationalism is justified even if you don't know that it's their genes. Can you take all of the blacks in America and define this as a group?
Sure.
Okay. This group...
I don't know if they have a unique genetic makeup, but sure.
Okay. This group, whatever it is, if it's an ethnicity, a race, a sub-race, a subspecies, I don't care. This group votes in a way, behaves in a way, and performs in a way that makes me not want to live with them. That is ethno-nationalism. That's the difference between you and I. You make statements about things that you don't know. I make statements about things that I know. And your statement about dividing culture and race is ridiculous on its face. Culture and race are embedded into one another. So it doesn't matter if there's another country out there with black people who they might want to live with. What matters is that there are currently people in America, and it is not necessarily in my interest to live with them. How can I not be entitled to want to isolate myself from them, leave them alone? I'm happy if they succeed on their own, but I don't want to pay the price of living with them anymore. What's wrong with this view? Even if I'm wrong on the science, which I'm not, by the way, because I'd like you to tell us after this, after your response to my first question, where's this amazing country where there's amazing black people who will live with me and live an amazing libertarian utopia? What's the country? Botswana? South Africa? Where are they? Which are all different races, by the way. All of these people differ genetically in a demonstrable fashion. I can isolate them on a graph.